Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and I will be the language trainer for this hour. And I'm happy to see you all, and uh, and work with you on learning English. And for this class, we will be going over several different vocabulary activities and activating your vocabulary in different aspects. And so that is what we will be doing. Let me show you one of the activities. It will be a matching activity, and then we will discuss these words. So basically, it's a word associations, and we'll just match these words, and there's several different kinds of combinations. Then we will talk about that as well. Um, so that is what we will be doing. Um, for one of them. Um, excuse me. So it looks like that left. And for another one, it will be a listening activity. And for this listening activity, you will be given a list of words. And on those words, you will guess, when I read the definition, you will guess what that word means. And that will be one of them. And then the third vocabulary activity will be a lot of different words that you also need to put together. So you have 3 words. What is the 4th word that matches in this? So that is the third vocabulary activity. So that we will be doing. Hello, how are you today?
Hello,
How's it going?
fine, and you?
Good. All right, let me see. Is this Nadia? I Oh no, Elena.
Yes,
Hello. Did you get
hello.
your license?
Not
That,
yet,
that's how
but
long it's been since I've seen you. So,
yes, yes. I have a lot of lessons during the week um, in my office.
uh-huh,
A lot of lessons of English, and that's why in the morning time I can't participate to your
uh-huh,
classes,
uh-huh.
and in the evening it's too late in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That was impossible. And also now I have some driving lessons during the week in the morning time before the
Okay.
work.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so that's because of my schedule. That's like that.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
So, um, so you did not pass the test because the last time I saw you was the day before the test.
Um, I haven't the last time I didn't pass it. But I can do it in any time when I could be
When you
prepared better.
when you feel ready. Uh-huh. Okay.
So right now I'm concentrate on real driving, in
Uh-huh.
practicing in driving, and after all,
Mm-hmm.
I have I should have a lot of lessons of practicing and driving, and then when I will finish, I will pass it. I will try to pass the game.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Excellent.
So day by day, maybe it's a little slow,
Mm-hmm.
but that's okay. Right now it's winter in Russia, and that's a little difficult to drive,
Uh-huh.
but that's okay.
Uh,
When the spring will come, I
uh-huh.
will be I will be ready, I believe.
Okay. Good. Excellent. It's good. Good to hear. So you will get your license. So awesome.
Yes. Yes,
Awesome.
I will. I
Yeah.
will.
And have you traveled down to Italy at all? Because I remember you
Oh,
were there.
unfortunately not. because we have a lot of changes, because of this crisis. In Russia, we have a lot of economical changes, and maybe I mentioned that I started to work in the Middle East development direction
Yeah,
of
you were
our
saying that way.
yes, and I was busy with that, and we're supposed to have a great trip in January. And right now we have a lot of issues from preparing that, but I guess that the date will be changed.
Okay.
Yeah, that due to the economical reasons.
Yeah.
Because that affects a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not just it doesn't affect to us directly, but in any case
Yeah. Now, did I understand correctly that did the currency in Russia, the ruble, did it fall?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because I've had several Russian students mention it, and I wasn't actually sure what had happened. So
yeah, that's why right now it's difficult to travel.
Okay.
Because the salary is the same, and the prices of dollar and euro, they are increased, and so we should have a lot of money just for going to Europe. So, but I believe that it will be corrected. But right now that's a little scary, but we will see. We'll try to be positive.
All right. Hi, Tuan. How are you today?
Yeah, hi teacher. I'm fine. How are you today?
Very good. Remind me, you are from Vietnam, right?
Yeah. So how did you know that?
Because you were in my class a couple days ago.
Yeah. You are very good memorized English.
But I remember your name, but I don't remember your picture. So
Yeah.
tell me about the picture. It looks like a lion.
Yeah, it's lion. Yeah.
Is there any significance for the picture?
Sorry, I don't understand it.
Does it mean anything? Were you born?
Yeah, yeah, it's mean about my birthday.
Okay. Awesome.
Because I'm born in August, so it's my so I don't know how to say it in English. Sorry.
It's your sign. It's one way you can say it. It's my sign, or it's my astrological sign.
Yeah.
So it's a sign, and yeah, because I'm a Leo as well. So in English we call it a Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, welcome. And Tuan, this is Elena from Russia, and Elena, this is Tuan from Vietnam. And
Yeah.
I
Hi,
remember
Eleanor.
you were in my class, but I cannot remember what our topic was. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right. So let's go ahead and what we're going to do in this class is we're going to go from some fairly easy vocabulary activities to more difficult as the hour goes on. And we might, depending on how much you guys talk, we might actually stay on this first one. I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to match the words, and there is more than one combination. So we will. What we're going to do is we're going to do one matching, and then we are going to discuss that word combination, and then we'll do another combination, and just try to discuss these words as at like how to use it and also practice using it. So let's start. We have abusive, awkward, complete, deprived, disruptive, embarrassing, great, physical, and then we have customers, patience, violence, situation, language, stranger, background, and behavior. Okay, so are there any of these words that you guys do not know?
Yeah, I don't know the first two words.
The first two words, okay. Abusive is usually if abusive is used if someone hurts another person. So, for example, if a husband hits his wife, he is considered abusive. Okay, and it isn't always just physical. It could be mental. If a wife says mean things about her husband, maybe she's being mentally abusive or verbally abusive. So, okay, and another way it's used. We might use that. Say if a customer is rude at the restaurant, or if rude when they call in, they are being abusive. If they're using bad language, drunk people typically can be very abusive in the way they act. Okay, awkward. Elena, do you know the word awkward?
No. I guess one day I meet it, but I don't know the meaning.
Okay, with awkward, usually we'll use this word with, say for example, if somebody is socially awkward, they don't actually have the social skills to make friends. Maybe if something is awkward, it's not normal. It's kind of strange. Is really how it's used.
Yeah, maybe they nervous to do something or try to do something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's all kinds of different ways that awkward is used. For example, if somebody says something to you that is kind of strange, maybe you will feel awkward. You will feel like, oh, this is weird. It's kind of a weird feeling type thing. Anyway, we'll by the end of this lesson, you guys should understand that word. Are there any, Elena, are there any other words that you do not know?
No.
Okay, now when we put these words together, it may or may not change the meaning of these words. Okay, so let's start with the word abusive. Abusive can go with several different words here. So let's go ahead and see if we can match these to what they go with. So, Elena, do you want to try first?
Abusive behavior.
No, we don't actually.
Abusive customers.
Wait a minute, you're right. We'll have abusive behavior. That will work. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. And where's my pen? My pen's not working. Bear with me a moment. Okay, abusive behavior. I was thinking some others.
Yeah, that's possible to say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Elena, do you know somebody who has abusive behavior? And if so, can you describe that person? What do they do?
Yeah, unfortunately, in the real life situation, in the office, for example, that could be a colleague who could have abusive behavior. And so I believe that the best way not to react to that, just to skip it and to try to be patient, and because during our business life there are a lot of stressful situations, and sometimes people can't control themselves, and they could do some abusive
behavior.
Yes, behaviors.
Okay. So what kind of behavior would they do in the office?
They could be speak loudly.
It's okay. So they could yell.
Yeah, they could yell. They could describe, for example, some works, some doings which you have had with a lot of forces, for example, yeah, and they could just say that, you know, that's terrible, you should redo that. It's and that could be abusive.
In the way that they are speaking, yeah. So they could say bad things. Yes, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, especially in the way there are a lot of different possible ways how you could describe the mistakes. Yeah, but some people do not mention that. Just do it in the right way, and that could be really abusive.
Okay, thank you. And Tuan, can you think of somebody who has abusive behavior, and what kind of behavior do they have?
You know, in my country, when I'm waiting for the blue light in the street, you know, when we waiting for.
When you're waiting for.
Oops.
Okay.
We lost
I thought
him.
that was me at first. So I bought a new microphone and headset, and
congratulations.
Thank you.
It's
cordless.
The connection is really clear.
Yeah. Well, what happened was the earlier today, just a few hours ago, the USB hub that I was using for the USB kept going out. So I think in 1 hour I had to leave the class 3 times because it just kept going out, and it was this hardware failure. So during one of my breaks, I got another USB thing, so it's working great now. So,
yeah, that could be with USB. That's
never know. Yeah. Okay. So also, Araceli, welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Sorry, I'm late.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I know that on the weekends you come to later classes. So, so what we're doing right now, Araceli, and you know Elena from Russia, and
I think I have not seen her before here in Berkeley.
Okay. Yeah, she used to be in my 10 o'clock class a few months ago, and then you would come into the 11 o'clock. So
okay.
10 p.m. and 11 p.m. You're 7 a.m. and you're 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. So, Elena, this is Araceli from Spain. So
nice to meet you, Araceli. I believe that we came across with you in some lessons.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
That was too long ago. That's okay.
it's been a while since Elena was taking classes at this time. So
Where do you live?
In Russia. In Moscow.
In Russia. Ah, okay.
yeah, all right. So what we're doing, Araceli, we're doing several vocabulary activities, and we're starting with kind of easy, and we're going to go to more difficult as the hour progresses. So right now we have these words right here, and we're making a word combinations. So we just made abusive behavior. Now abusive goes with a couple other words here. Can you match them?
Abusive language.
Yes, abusive language. Perfect. Um,
There's another word, I don't know.
can you just can you describe a person who has abusive language?
Yes, I suppose it's bad language when you say a lot of what's the word for that? Bad
Or
words.
cuss words is the word for that.
How? Cuss?
Yeah, cuss, cuss words.
Cuss words, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so when you say a lot of cuss words. Okay, and people do that when they're angry, maybe, or intoxicated or drunk. So, okay, Elena, can you? There's a couple more for abusive. Can you choose another one?
Abusive situation?
No.
No. Abusive customers?
Yes. Abusive customers. So, do you have abusive customers at all, Elena?
Yes. So when I worked with not on this job, not just for this company, but when I work in the company which represented kitchen equipment, American kitchen equipment. Maybe you know it's Sub-Zero. You know that's fridge.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I've heard of it before. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really expensive equipment, especially in Russia. And I have a customer I have an abusive customer, which who always told that she has some strange noise, which were produced by the fridge, and our engineers had to do a lot of different manipulations with that fridge, and they tried to they tried to understand the level of this noise, but you know that was the problem was just because of the acoustic situation in this space, and we could do nothing about that. But she always called us every day, and she told us, shame on you, you couldn't decide this little problem with such expensive equipment. It's not possible. So that was really strange situation, and you know, she wrote to the USA office, and she told that we should pay to her some moral compensation for the medical, which you should use, because she couldn't stand the noise. So
Okay.
that.
Wow. Yeah, I want to quickly give some quick grammar feedback. The difference between told and said.
Yes, without me. Okay.
Yeah, when you use told, you always have to use a pronoun. So she always told me that, or she told them that. But if you don't want to use a pronoun, then you use the word said. She always said that the refrigerator was loud, or something like that.
Okay.
So, but
Okay, thank you.
told, you always have to have a pronoun. So, all right, RFLE, in any of your jobs, have you ever had somebody who has an abusive have you ever had an abusive customer that you've had to work with?
Mm, I don't know why. Well, maybe sometimes. Well, as a customer, I can consider parents of my students in some ways, and they are usually very nice. But yes,
Uh-huh.
in certain situations, they were rude and impolite. And
Uh-huh.
I remember particularly once I had a girl who was behaving really bad, and well, she always behaved like that and never studied and was a very bad student.
Uh-huh.
And one day when they were not obeying me in the class, or they were making a lot of noise, so I said, okay, you are not going to, well, the bell rang, and they wanted to go home because it was the last period. And I said like, okay, you are not going, you're staying here 5 more minutes. Well, I didn't say 5 minutes. I said until I say you can go, you can't leave.
Uh-huh.
And that just like because they were not listening, they were behaving badly.
Uh-huh.
So what happened? It was just 5 minutes. But the next day, the parent of this girl, who was one of the worst in the class,
Uh-huh.
he called me, he phoned me, and he said, "You are that teacher who dare give my girl 5 minutes after classes," and I was so worried about her because we didn't know what was happening, and she didn't come on time. You didn't tell us anything, and you are such a bad teacher. And I said, there were because I mean I can. For example, if they have to stay for an extra period, for an extra hour, I have to communicate the parents. I always do, but it was like just 5 minutes after the class. But he was very rude and unpolite, and he said, "You are doing so badly. I am so dissatisfied." And I think when his girl was like just like him, so unpolite.
Yeah,
I thought this is where she learned her behavior from her family.
probably. Probably it is. So remember, she was rude and impolite. So remember, when
Um,
there's a P, it's always IM. So impolite with a P. So
yeah,
rude and impolite. Okay, now
impolite.
abusive goes with one more. Can you guys figure out what that one would be?
Background.
Yes. So if somebody has an abusive background, possibly their parents um, abused them somehow. Um, they were abused, abusive background. Abuse comes in many different ways, but so an abusive background is when you were abused in your past. So, okay, let's go on to the word awkward. So, because does anybody know what awkward would be with? Any idea?
Awkward. It's like not suitable.
No.
For example, awkward situation. It's
Yeah,
possible.
awkward situation. That is pretty much the only one in this list. So if you have an awkward situation, um, for example, I'll give you an example of an awkward situation that people feel awkward, at least in my life. Since I am a twin, right, and maybe you guys have seen the picture of her and I, and we look very much alike. And sometimes, since I moved to a town that she has lived in for a long time, people will come up to me and they'll say, "Hi, Heidi, how are you doing?" And I'll be looking at the person going, I don't know who you are. And so I usually just pretend to be her, because if I admit to this person that I am not Heidi, then it becomes an awkward situation because the people feel embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's one, Can you guys think of an awkward situation that you might potentially be in?
Well, sometimes I forget the names of the people. It's not the same as the
Uh-huh.
situation you described, but quite
Uh-huh.
similar.
Uh-huh.
So I'm very bad. I remember the faces, but not the names. So when I
Oh,
see someone every day, it's okay for me. But maybe I haven't seen this person in a year.
uh-huh.
Maybe a former coworker or student, and then I run into that person and say, "Okay, hello," and you start talking and you keep thinking, "I don't remember who is she or he."
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you ever had that experience? Even sometimes you don't know where you met that person. That person looks familiar, but you can't match it, and this is very embarrassing.
And it kills you too. I had that happen to me. I've had that happen, and nowadays I'll just assume that the person knows my sister, but it isn't really the case all the time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
because of that
Cool.
situation as well. So Elena, can you think of an awkward situation that you could potentially be in?
For me, that could be always awkward situation when I know the truth, and for example, my director asked me to tell the truth about the behavior of my colleague, and
Oh,
I know the truth, and maybe I know some extra details of her of her, I don't know, maybe her behavior or her her actions during the last month, but I don't want
yeah.
to do something wrong about her, and I just prefer to keep it in silence because that's not my business, and I really believe that it would be better to say nothing. But
Yeah.
that could be an awkward situation for me because someone asked me to help her, to
Mm-hmm.
help to help her, and the other person asked me to help her also. So that could be a quite awkward situation.
Okay. And I wrote some vocabulary words down. You don't want to be a tattletale. That word is actually used with children. If a child says, if they tell on somebody else, they're a tattletale. Now, in your situation, you really don't want to be a narc. And this is slang, of course, but a narc is a person who tells on somebody else. They tell the boss that so and so didn't do their work or that they were coming in late or whatever. So that is a narc. That is one of many words, but those are the two I thought of when you were talking. So,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Complete. There is at least there is one that complete goes with. Do you guys know which
Complete
one?
stranger.
A complete stranger. Yeah. Now, if you guys are in say if you're in an elevator with a complete stranger, do you talk to them?
That depends.
Uh-huh.
That depends on stranger.
Uh-huh.
Stranger.
Okay. So if he's very good looking, you'll talk to him.
If
So,
he's George Clooney.
yeah. Yeah, or
Yeah,
George Clooney like. So but I know that in some countries it's very polite to talk to somebody just kind of casually in a closed space like that, and in other countries it's totally fine to be silent. How about in your countries? Or does it really depend on the people involved?
In my country, that's absolutely your decision what you should do. If you are attractive people like me, you could speak. Why not? And that really depends on your mood, on the mood of the stranger. Maybe you can understand that maybe in this moment he absolutely doesn't need to speak with somebody. Yeah, and that means for me that I have to be quiet. If he's smiling and he's attractive and he wants to just to talk for a little, for this little time when we just know when we are in the elevator or somewhere else. Yeah, so why not? That could be. In my country there are no any rules about that and any forms to behavior.
Yeah, in my country it has to do with eye contact, and there's nonverbal behavior people learn whether you can talk to a person or not. So, and I'm very talkative. I'm a talkative person like you are, Elena. So, Araceli, how about in Spain?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe it's okay to not to speak, but some small conversation, like some small talk. For example, talking about the weather. But for me, this is very annoying. I'm quite shy and I don't like this situation.
You would love Finland then.
Yes, and I also agree with you. Eye contact is important. So if you're sometimes you're avoiding to look at this person in the face, so the conversation won't start. And sometimes people, well, something that helps, for example, if I am with my son, everybody talks to him. You know, when there are children, it's easier to start a small talk like, hey, how you doing? Then the mother can talk too.
And also the other one is a dog.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're out with. I've heard about people. I think it's in Europe. Single men who will borrow dogs and take them on walks so they can meet women.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that gives you an excuse to start a conversation with a stranger. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's go on to the next word, deprived. Okay, so what are some words that deprived would go with to make a combination? Anybody know?
I'm not sure what the meaning of deprived.
Okay. Deprived means that were not if you have for example, it's not in here, but if you have a deprived childhood, it means that you were not given the same things that everybody else everybody else was given. So
deprived background.
Yeah, it is a deprived background. So, for example, people in third world countries usually have a deprived background compared to our countries. You know, and nowadays, if in our countries, if a teenager does not have a cell phone or a mobile phone, maybe they are deprived. So, but it's kind of a joke when it comes to stuff like that. But usually a deprived background means they do not have what everybody else had at the same age and the same culture. So, okay. Let's go to disruptive. Anybody know where that would be?
Yes, that's one of my favorite words. To talk about students.
Yeah.
This word is not. You will use some words like he's naughty, he's very rude, he's so aggressive, but you can say disruptive. It sounds more polite.
Yeah.
No.
So What word does it go with?
Uh, behavior.
Yeah, disruptive behavior. So some of your students have disruptive behavior. And
Yes.
when you call the parents, do they help you, or do they make you feel like you don't know anything about their child?
No, I usually get on well with the parents, and
Uh-huh.
they are, well, it depends, but many times when the kids have a disruptive behavior, many times it's just a call of attention. They are in a difficult situation. Maybe when you talk to their family, you find out that there are very difficult situations at home, and
Mm-hmm.
they can be affecting the kid. So it's good to talk to the families because they help you understand. But sometimes parents are as teachers feel we don't have the tools to deal with them. They are too difficult sometimes. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel even if the parents are like, I don't know what to do, they don't, for me, they are trying hard. So I identify with parents many times because some people say, well, they don't care, they are doing nothing. No, they are, sometimes it's really difficult
Mm-hmm.
uh, to to control a disruptive teenager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know that my sister has the three children that are all very close in age, and they're all of them are very hyper. And when they get together, they can have very disruptive behavior. And sometimes my sister will knock on my door and she says, Holly, can we divide to conquer? So they'll leave
Mhm.
one with me, and then one
Mm.
with dad, and one will be with my sister, just because of their behavior. So, but I think it's because of who they are, and also because they're of their age, and just and being so close in age and so forth. Elena, do you know any kids or people that have disruptive behavior?
Yeah, that could be if I don't know, if, for example, in the transport,
Uh-huh.
when there are some drunk people,
That's what I was
they
thinking. Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
they could have really disruptive behavior, and that's sometimes for me that could be very awkward situation to go with them in the same train or in the same bus.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, right now there are not a lot of situations like that. But before that, maybe 4 years ago, that could be more often, and
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
that could happen.
Yeah, I remember that happening quite often in Finland if I was ever out on the buses on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And people would be very embarrassed, and especially if they knew I was a foreigner, then they would be even more embarrassed. So, but they didn't usually bother me, but uh, it just it was just embarrassing because that person was there. So, all right. So, talking about the word embarrassing, what would embarrassing go with?
Mm,
Situation.
maybe situation, yeah.
Yes, a very embarrassing situation. Okay. And I'm not going to ask you this because I hate this question. What is your most embarrassing situation? So, if it was really that embarrassing, are you really going to tell us? So,
I think it's when your English teacher is asking you about your private life
yeah.
and you can't think of anything, so that's an embarrassing situation.
Yeah, and well, and the thing is, like, I hope everybody understands that at least in my class, it's totally fine to lie. So,
Yeah.
so
No, I was kidding.
I know, but it's true. But
Yeah.
I remember one time, probably shouldn't say this because this is getting recorded, but in my Finnish class, somebody asked me what I did for a living, and I told them that I was a prostitute. And my Finnish teacher was like, her eyes were huge. And then I told her, I said, because she knew I was an English teacher, and I said, this is just a language class. I can lie. And she said, yeah, you're right. But I was doing it for the laugh, of course. So anyway, great. What does great go with?
Great patience.
Great patience. Okay. Elena, tell us about a person that you know that has great patience.
My mom, for example,
Uh-huh.
she has great patience, and because she could grow up two girls.
Okay, so a child grows up. She raised two girls.
Yeah, she raised two girls.
Uh-huh.
And maybe my father could have some abusive behavior sometimes. So I really believe that she has great patience.
Okay, awesome. All right. And Artheli, do you know anyone who has great patience?
I can't think of anyone right now.
No one.
Well, there are people who are more patient than me. That's not difficult.
Uh-huh.
But I don't remember particularly
Uh-huh. Okay.
anyone.
No one that you can think of. Okay. So the final one here we have is physical. So we have the last word. So this, of course, is the easiest one, unless it's not really true. But physical violence. Oops. Physical violence. So people with abusive behavior or abusive background know very well what physical violence is. So I don't really think we need to talk about that at all, unless you guys want to. So um, what I'd like to do is go to another language activity. And hello, do you have anything?
Yes, we can hear you.
Another one. This is called types of people. Okay. And where did that go? Just bear with me a moment. Uh-oh, Holly's having a problem. Okay, types of people. Okay, so we have these 16 words. How many of them do you know?
Not many.
Oh, not many. Oh, no. Okay.
No.
Sorry, Holly?
I don't know, maybe I know
Okay,
6
so
of them or like that.
I told you the first one was easy, the second one is more difficult. We're not going to get all the way through this. So, okay, so I'm going to go through and tell you what these mean. And then I'm going to read you some definitions, and you can we can match this based on my reading. So this is more of a vocabulary listening comprehension activity, okay? Not a lot of discussion, but vocabulary and listening. Okay, an accomplice. An accomplice is a person who helps another person commit a crime. So say somebody, if you rob the bank and I drive the car, and you run out of the bank and run to the car, I am your accomplice.
This word could be used just in negative way.
Yes. Yeah. In that one, the accomplice is always a negative because you're helping. An accomplice is always help somebody commit a crime. So no is always negative. Okay. An adjudicator is a judge in a contest. So it's a judge in a contest. If you have any questions.
What kind of contest?
Chess. A chess, spelling bee, those kind of a knowledge, a quiz contest, any of those kind of contests where you have to have a judge.
Mhm.
Okay. An arbitrator is usually a person that is in place of a lawyer, and they try to solve problems before a problem goes to court. So maybe two companies will go into arbitration, and they try to work out the problem. And if they fail, then they will go to a court and go before a judge. So an arbitrator has to do with legal things. So, any questions? Okay.
No, that's clear.
Okay. A beneficiary is a person who is okay. When you have a life insurance policy, the beneficiary is a person who will receive the money if you die.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you die. A castaway, that's from the movie Castaway. So a castaway is a person that is on a desert island, usually from a shipwreck. Okay. And a conscript is a person who is forced to go into the military. So in British English, they get conscripted. In American English, they get drafted. So a conscript is usually, I think in most countries, it's at the age of 18. They get conscripted to the military, so they have to go to the military.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? Okay. An expatriate, or short, a lot of times we just say expat. And an expatriate is a person who lives in the country that is not their birth. And like when I was living in Korea and when I was living in Finland, I was considered an expatriate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A hermit. A hermit is a person who lives completely alone, usually in the mountains or in the countryside. And they usually live off the land, and they are never around other people. So, understand, everyone?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Excellent. Hooligan. Okay, football match in Spain.
That's easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Germany, UK. So,
Yeah.
football is a soccer match. Okay, an invigilator is okay. I had to remember this. This is British English. An invigilator is a person who is if you take a test. So if you take the TOEIC or the TOEFL or the IELTS or somebody, it's a person who is standing and watching you and making sure you're not cheating.
Mm-hmm.
In American
But
English, it's a different word.
which word is American English?
In American English, it's a proctor.
Proctor.
Proctor, yeah.
But this is only for exams.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just for exams. A midwife is a lady who is not a doctor who helps women have babies. And more common 100 years ago, but it's starting to come back. So, a patriot is a person who loves his or her country. Okay. And a picket is a person who is who is striking, and because of the strike, they stand in front of the company and hold the signs.
Mm-hmm.
So, a sibling, I think you guys know that. That's a single word for brother or sister.
Mm-hmm.
And then a spouse is a single word for husband or wife. And then a teetotaler is a person who never drinks alcohol. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm going to read these and see if you guys can get this fairly fast, okay? Number 1. This is someone who supervises people taking an examination. He or she makes sure they don't cheat.
Invigilator?
Yeah, invigilator. Yeah, invigilator. Okay. Number 2. This is a single word for husband or wife.
Spouse.
Spouse. Yes, perfect.
Spouse.
Number 3. This is someone who is deliberately withdrawn from society and lives completely alone.
Hermit.
Hermit. Yes.
Hermit.
Okay. Number 4. This is someone who helps another person commit a crime.
An accomplice. Accomplish.
Yes, okay. Number 5. This is someone who, during a strike, is placed outside a factory by his or her trade union to try to prevent other workers from going in until the strike is over.
A picket.
Picket, yes. Number 6. This is someone who is called in to settle a dispute between two people or groups, usually at the request of both sides.
An arbitrator.
Arbitrator, yes. Now this, number 7, this is someone who has been shipwrecked. And they're living...
Castaway?
Yeah, castaway. They're living on a desert island, usually. Okay. Next one. This is someone who loves his or her country and feels very loyal towards it.
A patriot.
Patriot, yes. The next one. This is someone who is appointed to act as a judge in a competition.
An adjudicator.
Adjudicator.
Adjudicate.
Yeah, that's a hard one to say. Okay, number 10. This is someone who is made to serve in a country's army, navy, or air force, whether he or she wants to or not.
A conscript.
Conscript, yes. Okay, this is someone who never drinks alcohol.
Teetotaler.
Yeah. Okay, number 12. This is a person who is entitled to receive money or property from a will or insurance policy.
Beneficiary.
Beneficiary, okay. Number 13. This is someone who is living in a foreign country.
Expatriate.
Perfect. Okay. This is a noisy, rough person, usually young, who causes damage or disturbance in public places.
Hooligan.
Hooligan.
Yeah. Okay, 15. This is a nurse who has been specially trained to advise pregnant women and to assist them when giving birth.
Midwife.
Midwife.
Yes. Okay, and finally, this is a single word for brother or sister.
Sibling.
Sibling, okay. You guys did really well. Yeah. Usually with this one, I have taken a whole 90 minutes with students before with this activity. So the fact that
We are the champions.
You guys did it in 10. Of course, we didn't discuss it, and there's a like, for example, we've got invigilator, we have American English there, and conscript is American English, teetotaler, a different word for American English. So I didn't tell you any of that. So, nor did we practice it either. So, all right. Well, I want to thank you both for your participation in class today. It was really nice to see you again, Alina, after so many months. It's always great to see you, Araceli. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you then another time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Araceli, for the company, and thank you, Holly, for the lesson.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Elena. Nice to see you. Have a